All right, we got a Fs91R on the bench. This is they call this a fan housing that goes on here. All right, the bearing right here is molded or melted into this plastic housing. If I take this out, oops, come here you. And I'll let you look down in here. You can see the melted plastic. They've become one. So here's the problem. Steel sells this, I think you get this, a clutch drum, which is right there. I just harvested it off. Now here's the catch. I think you get like the rubber piece and maybe this clamp. So it's kind of an assembly. There's multiple parts to it, but what I'm getting at is this piece right here as an assembly is like $125 or 120 bucks. They're really expensive. I'm going to teach you how to save a few bucks. Okay, so this fan housing right here, 4180 080 1809 is this fan housing, and it comes to you at the counter at $37.99. It doesn't have the drum. I harvested the drum out of this unit. So all you have to do, and I'm sorry I didn't do this, is there's a retaining clip right here. Just pop that out, and then you'll want to spray some WD-35 around there and then just pry this out. Then you can take your snap ring pliers and get the snap ring off of the clutch drum. Then you can just push that out. It's actually an interference fit, so you'll probably have to tap on it with something. Just don't damage that. Once you have the clutch drum out, then you can reinstall it in this, and then get your snap ring on there. This is so tight right here, you'll only be able to get part of the way down before you run out of room. You can just put a socket over it and just tap it down. Just make sure the socket's just big enough to fit over the clutch drum shaft and get it to lock in place. Now we're gonna have to do a little bit of modification. The old style has this right here. I'm gonna go trim this off, and I'm going to match this. So, and that little notch cut out right there, that has to be in there so it fits to this housing. The old style, there's a bracket that holds the throttle cable in place, or the new style has that, and then the old style actually has it in the fan housing itself. But like I said, you're looking at 120 bucks for this, and it's going to fail. That's just a shielded bearing, and this thing's locked up tighter than Dick's hat band. So let me do a little arts and crafts right here, and then I'll bring you back. All right, arts and crafts are over with. That's all trimmed down. That fits in there. The bolt pattern's the same, the pins are the same. So all we have to do now is install the old style clamp. There's your part number right there. Clamp comes with a bolt or a screw. I did spring for the extra hardware. If you're watching this video, you're probably a landscaper and you've got, a handful of old dead units laying around. But so far, all this is easy peasy. And again, we're looking at a plug and play unit that's over $100. And I think we're gonna be at like 60 bucks all said and done for the parts on this. So focus. That clamp is $16.50 and another $10 for these old bushing things that go in the side right there. So pretty straightforward. Let me get this all buttoned up, and all right, we're ready to put this back together. Here's these two grommets. That side just got the rubber and just a straight hole through it. On the other side, it's got the rubber, and there's a nut tack welded into this grommet. So all that's left to do now is just put this back together, slide the shaft back in, and we're good to go. Here's your part numbers. Obviously they're different part numbers. I don't know which one's which, I just yanked them out of here. but I'm thinking that's a standard one, and this is the one with the nut, but I'm not positive. You'll have to look at the diagram. But you know, this is just about, you know, you're making a really expensive fix for something that's gonna break. This only took me 5 minutes to trim that off, and then just do a little custom fitting to make sure I got it up underneath that spot right there, and a few minutes to extract the old clutch drum out of it. I'd say that's a good save. Okay, that's all back together. I did forget to mention that on the back side of this, there's a hold down screw for the bearing. That is a standard 6201 shielded bearing. So anyway, you know, if this bearing ever goes bad, we could just replace the bearing just like the old days, where a bearing replacement in this is absolutely impossible. I've tried to beat these out before and they do not come out. I would imagine it would break if you actually got it out. So, you know, a $60, $70 fix versus a $120 fix, and now we've got serviceability in this new / old style part. I want to say a 6201 bearing is going to run you like maybe $6 or $7. It's a standard size bearing you can get at any shop, any auto parts store. All right, well, I hope you learned something on that one, and I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.